Good morning, almost good afternoon. I guess it depends on where you're at in the world, but hello, beautiful beings. So, we're getting closer to our deadline for having all of our things, physical things, eliminated. So, for those of you who don't know, on Saturday, like 4 days ago, my husband had this harebrained idea that we're going to sell all of our stuff and take our family on tour of the United States for the next year. So all the different major cities where I'm going to do a big event. And so we decided this, bought a new car, sold a car, have liquidated, I don't know, a ton of our stuff. My daughter's like sleeping on a mat in her room on the floor. It's adorable. And we're getting ready to take off on this wild adventure. Hey, everybody jumping on. Brad, Judy, who else do I have on here? Lavonda, Elise, Artie, welcome everybody. Okay, so today's little chitty chat. I'm so excited. There's like a bazillion other things I could be doing right now as far as getting my business, my life, and everything together. Here's the craziness, right? So we're liquidating our entire house and all of our like physical property and assets in less than a week. While still doing the normal day-to-day functions, right, guys? Like eating and getting dressed and showering and working out and all of the things you do to like maintain a normal day. Hey, guys. Hey, Rochelle. Tyson, Amazon lady. I don't even know what that means, but I like it. Tana. Hey, guys. So normal day-to-day functions of our life, right? In addition to liquidating and selling and packing all these things, we're also preparing for a triathlon that we're competing in next Saturday. And then this Saturday evening, I have my Goddess Activation event here in Boise, my last event here in Boise. So we've got all of these things we're preparing for. Plus, I'm headed out next Sunday for a whole week-long swim camp with my two kids out in like the forest camping. So we've got like all of these crazy things right now happening all at once that we're getting ready for. It's so exciting. So there's a million things I could be doing right now, but I felt this inspiration to jump on and share some things about the ego with you guys and about sabotage and about the stuff that kicks our butt. And I love following that. And amazing, not Amazon. Rochelle thinks I'm amazing, not an Amazon woman. I was like, oh, okay. So actually, this earlier today, you guys, Jim, your energy's infectious. Good, let's infect the planet. Hit share, guys. That's a great segue, Jim. I paid you to do that. Hit share. Let's share this out there. Let other people hear about this yummy juice. It's exciting. Actually, earlier today, my 5-year-old told me that I was fat. It was pretty adorable. I was like, no, sweetheart, I have organs inside my stomach. That's why there's a stomach, but there's not like squishy fat. It was pretty cute. Awesome. All right, guys. So let's talk about the ego. Let's talk about sabotage and our goals and really moving forward and understanding how we get to work with our ego to move forward, shift, and change. So what we get to recognize, guys, is anytime we have a goal, something really big that we're going for. Oh, hi, Samara. Samara is joining us all the way from Pakistan. I love and adore her. She's awesome. We got to chitty chat a little bit last weekend. So anytime we're moving forward towards like a really big goal, something we feel inspired or excited about, anytime that we're doing this, initially, at first, there might be a little bit of fear and nervousness, but it's exciting because we know we're on path and we feel like this fire inside of us because it's our intuition, like our inner self, our inner truth. It's like a ping going off in our head, like ding, 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 like this is the thing. So this is what happened Saturday for us, right? My husband says, hey, let's sell everything and move cross, like, let's go on tour and let's take your business on tour. And he's like, and let's get you on stages in all these major cities across the United States and, spread the love and the energy and the infectious energy, right, Jim? So that's, hi, Shalise. I get to talk to you, girl. We're leaving. We're out of here. So I want to see you. Anyways, so we're getting ready to do this thing and he says, let's do it. And immediately I felt ignited, right? And when something's truth or something is like the next step for you because it feels lighter. It feels exciting. It feels like happy making, okay? That's a new term, okay? It feels happy making. So I just, like, he said it and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, like this is what we get to do next, like for our next level of expansion and movement on the planet, right? So I'm feeling so ignited and excited. And then what happens? You guys? Oftentimes, the ego steps in. The ego gets excited. We're moving forward, right? We're going to go for it. Maybe you're going to lose weight. Like you're like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to lose weight. Or you're going to grow and expand your business to another level. Or you're going to do some crazy move like I'm doing. Or you're going to invest in that coaching program, right? And you're like, yeah, I'm going to go for it. And you feel so good. And you'll ride a high. For some people, it's an hour, 2 minutes, 3 days, but there will be a period of a high that feels really, really good because you've reunited with your soul purpose and allowing your divinity to lead the way in your life. And you've locked in, and it just feels so good. You're tapped in, you're tuned in, you're turned on. It feels great. Okay. So that happens and you ride a high, but then what happens? All right. Ego comes in and it starts kicking you around, and it does not feel good. Hey, Brenda. Hey, Kristen. Does not feel good. It feels awful. And it shows up in circumstance or in thoughts or in experience. It could be an emotion that comes over you. So for example, for me, Monday morning hit, right? I rode this high all day, the end of Saturday, and then all day Sunday, and then Monday morning hit where like shit got real. It was time to start sifting and sorting all of my stuff and to really create the plans and to make some commitments, some big financial investments to move this process forward. And I woke up terrified. I can't explain it to you. It was like terror, like gripping my body, like immobilized. And my brain was swimming. It was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know where to start. I had all these different things I was thinking about as far as, you know, shifting some components of my business to really keep things running smoothly. And I have all these new things I'm launching and coming out and bringing to my Inner Circle program and all this good stuff that I'm wanting to keep on my roadmap, right? And also, you know, we're doing a triathlon. I have my goals with my fitness, you know, my trainer I'm working with, all these things. And I just started feeling this overwhelm. And oftentimes what happens, ego, some people use it as an acronym for edging God out. And if we look at like how we really get connected to source, hi Tasia, hi Caitlin, how we really get connected to universal power and energy, the way that we do that and the way that we connect to it is by going inside and connecting to our truth, because we are made up of the same stuff as God, as universe, right? We are literal sons and daughters of God, right? So when we go inward and when we connect with our intuition, we now have opened up the channel to receive that intuition and that clarity. So when we edge God out, what happens is like we literally turn off the faucet, right? And everything dries up and we experience lack mentality. We experience lack of resources. We experience disconnection. We like lack of clarity. Like most of the morning Monday, I like honestly did not even know where to go or what to do. And so what I got to do is I got to take a moment and recenter myself, get grounded in my body and in my truth, and get reconnected and realigned so that I could receive the intuition to know what step to take next. But here's how sabotage shows up for a lot of people. One of the number one excuses I hear of why people aren't moving forward, actually there's two. The two primary resources that we get to utilize on the planet, one is money and one is time. These are the two major excuses that I hear people using why they're not going to move forward. And what happens is anytime that we think a thought or we speak or we create action, movement in our life, it is a declaration to the ego and to the universe of who we're choosing to be, who we're choosing to show up with. Yeah, Brad, it's a super juicy definition. Hey, Drew, welcome, welcome. So that's what happens. It is when we, so whatever your excuse is right now for why you're not moving forward, it will forever be your reason and that the ego brings to you. Because when the ego's job, the ego has a lot of different jobs, and we could go into like a huge deep dive training. And I actually have in my Inner Circle, we did an entire hour-long training where I talk about the different goals of like your spirit has a different goal than your heart, than your mind, than your body, your physical body. So we have all these different goals and how like we can actually manifest like crazy when we get them all aligned and on the same team. So that's a whole hour-long training. Anybody who joins Inner Circle, you get access to all those archives. So if that's something that's speaking to you, just message me and we'll totally look into it. But back to this, because you guys, this is so key. Whatever you have used whatever the ego finds is a trigger point for you. That it goes, oh, I know all I need to do to stop Drew or Brad or whoever's on here, right? All I need to do to stop Tasia is to throw money at her, right? Or to throw time at her. Oh, I know what we'll do. We'll overwhelm her. Yeah, that's what we'll do. I know. Let's have this person and this person call her. And let's give her this thought that there's not enough time. Oh, and let's remind her of all these other things she has to do. Let's overwhelm her. That stops her every time. Oh, let's overwhelm her, right? And so your ego knows. It knows those little trigger points. It knows the things that it does that immediately stops you in your tracks. And it will use it over and over and over. So what we get to do, you guys, to really shift through is when we have those things come up. And they will, I promise you. And they're oftentimes rooted and attached in our core wound. We have several core wounds from our lifetime that habitually hang us up when we're wanting to move forward. They're like these big anchors, if you can imagine, trying to pull those forward. And when we attempt to move forward and we feel all that weight and the heaviness of the core wounds or the limiting belief system, right? Those bullshit stories we tell ourselves, when we feel those in our life, it feels like so much work that we just sit down. We're like, I can't even move forward. I can't even do anything. And that's what happened to me Monday. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like there's no point in even trying. That's how I felt for this like little window of time, which luckily, like that's the gifting, guys, of programming yourself with these new tools, skills, and abilities, is that when you have that happen, it's not if, it's when. Life is a cycle of getting to move and look at and work through things to level up, right? So it's not if, it's when. There will be a time when you feel doubt or fear again, or terror, or like, that's not the last time I'm going to experience terror, right? That's part of being on the planet. And instead of allowing it to paralyze me permanently or allow it to take me off path or go, oh, this is scary. It must not be the right choice, right? Or, oh, this is going to be a financial commitment. It must not be the right choice. What we get to do, you guys, is realize everything we say, do, and think is a demonstration of who we're choosing to be. And your experience is a reflection of who you declared yourself to be, not who you really are, because who you really are is a limitless, eternal, all-knowing, very powerful, sentient being. That's who you really are, right? But your environment is just feedback for you to say, hey, look, this is who you're choosing to be. So when you go out and you look at your environment, and it's so easy to fall into the old pattern or the trap of, you look at something in your environment and you allow it to define you. No, your environment doesn't define you. You define your environment. So it's just feedback. It's like looking in a mirror. When you look in a mirror and there's something you don't like, you don't go punch the mirror and get pissed at the mirror. That wouldn't make sense. It's just a reflection. Whatever's going on in your experience, go look at your bank account. Go get on the scale. Go look in the mirror. That is a reflection. Look at your relationships. That is a reflection telling you this is who you are choosing to be right now. You're choosing to be this by the way you are aligning your energy with your thoughts, your words, and your actions. So who do you want to be? This is what we get to do. We feel our desires, right? The desire for abundance, the desire for health and well-being, the desire for, a career and life of purpose and impact, right? You feel those desires. Paint the picture out here. Tell me what the mirror would look like, right? Say, this is what the mirror looks like. This is what I do in my coaching. Tell me what the mirror is. Okay, now we reverse engineer it. Who do you get to be to see that in the mirror? Who do you get to become? We're not just going to go do the behaviors. You go do the behaviors of having an epic body and you can create it temporarily. But if you don't shift and move through the bullshit stories and belief systems and patterns that are there, that show up for you on the journey to that epic body, you're going to recreate the same shit story over and over and over again. This is the people who are on their 5th, 6th marriage, and they keep repeating the same thing over and over again. The people on their 6th big binge, whatever crazy diet cycle of starve, eat, and blah, 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 just craziness, because they haven't moved into the position to really, truly become that new energy and belief. That makes sense. Yes, it does. Okay, you guys. So here's what we get to realize. It's about becoming. It's about becoming the person that looks out and reflects and sees the life of their goals, the life of their true desires. Who do we get to become? And then we get to align our thoughts, our words, and our actions. And then when sabotage comes up, not if, when the negative emotion comes up, the doubtful thought, when it comes up, when we manifest the injury, right? Or we manifest the car wreck, or we manifest the I've heard crazy stories of people manifesting, something like an accounts payable or something that they paid on that for some reason the charge didn't run through, and all of a sudden runs through, and it was 3 months earlier, and all of a sudden they're getting all these overdraft fees, and it's right at this time when they're trying to go on this trip or this vacation, and what it does is it revalidates to them, oh my gosh, see, I can't have what I want, or anytime I try to go on vacation I get screwed, or blah, 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 and they use it to validate the old story rather than to look at it, get awareness around it, and break through it and create something new. So what we get to do is when these things come up, when you feel the story of the lie of, oh, I can't do it, I don't have enough money. I don't know how, I don't have enough time. We go, whoa, 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 wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm now choosing something new, and we respond rather than react by we go inside and we say, all right, my new truth is that I'm abundant in all things. The new truth is that I'm abundant in all things. And we say it and we think it. The new truth is I'm abundant in all things. Great. So what do I get to do to demonstrate this? What do I get to do to demonstrate this? Because I know as I come from being, aligning my words and my actions, it begins to change the reflection. There's a bit of a lag time, you guys. And the lag time is where most people give up. Most people screw themselves over in the lag time, the time between when you change the behavior and the thought pattern to when you finally get the result. There's a lag time there, and people go, oh, no, see, this stuff doesn't work. And then what happens is that immediately reconfirms to them that truth. Hi, welcome, Lori. And we recreate that same bullshit over and over and over again. So looking at weight loss, I love using weight loss as an example. Okay. When we're looking at weight loss, we move forward into creating something, right? We go to the gym. We're feeling so good. We're in the being of this new space of alignment with a healthy vessel. And we move forward in that energy, and we're so aligned and we're so excited, right? And then what happens, there will be something that will come up. Maybe it's a week in, a day in, 2 weeks in, maybe something with time. Oh, I don't have the time to get my workout in. Right? Or money will come up. I don't have the money to keep paying for the trainer or the coach or the gym membership or the supplements or the whatever, right? Or a news story will, like, they'll create an actual injury in their body. Oh, see, I guess I can't go to the gym. And they actually create their excuses to be valid. The only time your excuse is valid is when you stop. If you feel inspired to go do or be something and to create something, you can have, do, and be it. You can. Your soul felt it. It aligned with it. And when you feel that, you do not doubt in the dark what you know in the light. When you know something, when you see it to be true and you feel it in every fiber of your being, dark will come, right? Half the day is light, half the day is dark. I mean, depending on where you are in the world, but right, the night comes. It comes. And what we get to do is we get to stay in faith and trust when the darkness comes. Because it does. And the sabotage comes up. Right? The sabotage comes up. And it says, are you sure you really want this? Is this who you really are? And you say, no, fuck that injury. Maybe I can't go run 10 miles today, but guess what? I am a healthy being and everything's always working out for me. So guess what? I'm going to go do water aerobics. Or I'm going to ride this little bike here. Or I'm going to do some arm exercises or some yoga. Or I'm going to do something different. And you know what? I know this looks like it happened to me, but it actually happened for me. And I'm excited to see what the miracle is inside of all of this. And as you shift your perception and you begin to believe that it's really true and that the universe is here, literally rigged in your favor, even when it looks like it's not. Maybe you're going to go to that water aerobics class and fall madly in love. And you're going to become the most amazing swimmer there ever was. And you're going to do the Olympics. Right? Who knows? Right? Or you go and you do water aerobics and you meet this amazing woman who, has all these cool connections that connects you to this epic person that connects you to this, that connects you to that. And all of a sudden now your business is thriving and growing and all these epic things are happening. But in the past, what you would have done is you would have gone, oh, I'm injured. I guess I can't have the body I want. I guess I can't have the life I want. I guess I'm not meant to do it. And you make the excuse valid by sitting on your ass and you give up on your dreams. And we forget that we are worthy. We are deserving of having everything that we want. Everything that you want is there for you. You can have it, but you get to become the person that lives in that vibration. And guess what? The person who lives in abundance doesn't sit around making whiny bitch ass excuses for why they can't do, be, or have something that they really want. Say you look in your bank account and yeah, you don't have the funds to invest in the coaching. Maybe you don't. Well, guess what you get to do? Well, it's so good. You look at the bank account. This is kind of interesting. How silly. That's interesting because I'm actually an incredibly abundant being. Haha, that's funny. I'm super abundant and the universe always supports me. So what do I get to do? What's my first inspired action? Inspired action that I get to take to align with all that I really desire. What is it that I get to align with? What is it? Who does I get to become even more of today? And taking it one little step at a time. Stop staring at the bank account. Stop staring at the scale and look out at the stuff you've been avoiding. We avoid the mirror. We avoid the mirror because it's kind of fucking painful sometimes, you guys, because sometimes we allow the mirror to define who we are inside. And we forget that we aren't any of it. We aren't what we do. We aren't what we say. We aren't the external circumstances. We're so much more. All the external circumstances is a reflection of who you are choosing to be, not who you really are, who you are choosing to be, who you are choosing to live in. And the more and more that we can align our actions, words, thoughts, and behaviors to the truth of who we really are, our true essence as a divine, eternal, creative, powerful, magnificent being, the more we can align that massive mind expansion, it's so amazing the way that the universe shows up to support you. And it's so amazing when we realize that we block it from coming to us. We can look out and we can get mad and we can get frustrated and we can whine and we feel victimized, right? Well, and I felt this way for a lot in the beginning of my business. So I want you to understand, I know what it really feels like to be there in the place where it's like, it's a shit show and you feel like massive struggling all the time. Okay. I know what that feels like. I've been there. Okay. So I remember in the beginning of my business, and a lot of you who've watched me and followed me for a long time, I'm sure you can see difference and shifting that's been taking place in my energy, in my aura, in my words, and even in my weight loss, all these different things that change as we show up. As we show up to class, and class is our life. So in the beginning, I would get so pissed at the world, at the external results. Like, where are the clients, right? I want to serve. I have these gifts and talents. Where are the people, right? And where's the money? And where's all this stuff? And I would get so angry. And it was always about something externally. And certainly I would look at it and I would go inward and I would try to do all this stuff. But the truth is, guys, until we respond in a new way, we don't become the new person, and our results never change. What would happen is I would feel the inspiration and the excitement about something new, and then night would come and I would react to the darkness the same way every single time and recreate the same shit every single time. Guys, if you want to up level your life, guess where it happens? Not in the light, baby. It happens in the dark. So get excited, get your backpack, get your gear, get your flashlight. I recommend taking a coach or someone who's been in it before and head straight into the darkness, because the gift is in the shit, baby. And as you walk straight into the darkness and you respond differently to your wounds, your triggers, your belief systems, your doubts, the anxiety, the fear, the energy, the lack of belief in self, the self-doubt, when you respond differently to that, and you can throw a big, huge, warm, fuzzy blanket of love around it, everything begins to shift and transform in your life. Everything shows up in a totally new way. And not only does it show up differently, you see it differently. The tools, the insights, the people, the resources were there all along. But when you were in doubt and in fear, you couldn't see it. So, you guys, your excuse is only valid if you make it to be that way. When the excuse comes up that you see yourself using a lot, time, money, resources, whatever it might be for you, when you're feeling it coming up, get curious, get playful with it. Oh, and I've been saying this for years. My favorite thing is, that's interesting, right? I'll have people call me to want to complain about something or in my environment, right? You get those people that like come to complain. And that's my number one response is, oh, that's interesting. And you diffuse the judgment around it. Certainly there's an emotional charge, right? When I was experiencing massive terror through my whole body on Monday morning, certainly that's an emotion. But instead of judging it and then just adding more shit to the pile of like being angry, right? Have you ever been angry you're angry, or just so sad that you're sad, right? We do this. Hey, Lindsay, I love you, lady. Hey, Mindy, absolutely. I've seen so much growth in just a couple of years. I love that you've followed me for a while, Mindy. It's beautiful, right? So when we're angry that we're angry, or we're sad that we're sad, we just throw more shit onto the pile. And then it just makes it harder to sort through. So instead, give yourself permission to feel your feelings. Give yourself permission. There are times when I'm a bitch mom, right? And there are times when I am a manipulative wife, right? Or I go into the victim mode. But when I can love myself through that moment, and I can just throw love around it, now I can begin sorting through the trigger. Now I can begin sorting through what created it in the first place, so that I don't recreate it again and again and again on repeat. So you guys, the growth happens when the sabotage shows up, and you get to choose to respond to it differently. When you get to choose to respond to it differently. People will go to these amazing retreats or have this epic, coaching appointment, and they'll be riding a high, and they'll go out into life and think, oh, now if I can just keep everything this way, keep myself feeling good and keep all perfect. That's not even real life, and that's not exactly even how it's meant to be designed to work, right? It's about becoming more of a badass at feeling the sabotage, about feeling negative, about feeling self-doubt, and processing through it, and using those moments to catapult you rather than to enslave you. Using those moments to ignite your fire and passion and belief in who you really are, rather than to absolutely destroy it. So this is the gift. This is the opportunity that we each have to really stand in our truth, recognize the ego for what it is, recognize those blocks that keep coming up over and over and over again, that same story that's on repeat. If we want something new and different, we get to demonstrate through our word, through our action, through our feeling, that we are now being this new person. And as you align, as you be that new person, your environment will show up and reflect it back to you. And it's so juicy and so fun. I love you guys. This has been awesome. I hope it's been incredibly powerful and insightful for you. I'd love to hear in the comments below some of your biggest takeaways, your ahas, and how you're going to show up differently now. What it is that you get to do to really level up your life. I would love that. Also, tag, share, or private message this to anybody that you really feel, just one person. If everyone just shared this with one person, they feel like that this could ignite, expand, and impassion, man, we would create a fun ripple effect with this video. So please do it. And you can do it privately or just tag people if you want. But let's share the love. Hey, I've got a message coming through. I have to get going. Yes. Awesome. Go for it, Andy. Thank you. I'll read through these comments. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say. So please do that and let me know your thoughts and what it is that you get to do to really move forward and begin demonstrating this new way of being. I love you all so much. Make it a great day. And you know what? I'm going to go pack up some of my stuff, give away some of my stuff, and sell some of my stuff right now. And I love you. Have a great day.